Hi, 7th graders. This is a quick tour of the McGraw-Hill Student Portal. Some of you might also already be familiar with this portal from 6th grade, but I thought I would review it even for you. So here is my laptop, and obviously these are my 3 children. You need to open up a browser. I usually open up Chrome. It really works well. So here I am on Chrome. To get to Connect Ed, you might have already bookmarked it last year. You can tell it's one of my favorite things to click on because it's here under Google. I guess what I'll do right now is take you first to Lindero Canyon Middle School's website, because you should already know how to get to that. And then what you can do is get to my website. To get to my website, I'm going to click on Popular, Teacher Directory. It should be alphabetical by last name. I'm going to click on Michelle Soberi. You can see a quick little blurb about me. And then I'm going to click on my pages. And what happens here is I don't actually have my website here. I actually have it on a different website, and there is a link. So I'm going to click on that link, and here I am. It's called teacherweb.com, by the way. And on the bottom left, and I'll go over all of this at a different tour, which is the Mrs. Soberi website tour, but we're going to go right here to Connect Ed. We're going to click on Connect Ed. On here, it's going to tell you how to do the self-checks, how to do chapter tests and standardized test practices on McGraw-Hill. This is all McGraw-Hill Online. It gives you and your parents some information in a Word doc on the reason why I require self-checks. And here it is, the McGraw-Hill student login. So I'm going to go right here, and as soon as you get to this, you should just bookmark this so that you don't have to do this again. I'm going to log in as a student. Right now I'm logged in as a teacher because I want you to see the student portal. And this pretends student's going to have 4 different books. You're not going to, obviously. You're just going to have Glencoe Math Accelerated, a pre-algebra program. And you're going to click on the book, and you are going to see this. Now, I'm not exactly sure when you click on if it's going to look exactly like this. It might be an opening screen. But what I want you to do immediately is I want you to click on Menu, and I want you to go to Resources. Click on Menu and Resources, and pretty much in my class, this is what you're going to do. If you don't know this already, see in the results right here, it says Results per page 12. I usually immediately click on 48 just to open up everything. So here we are in Chapter 1, the language of algebra. So there's going to be a chapter overview, and in the chapter overview, if you click on the word check right now, you're going to see a family letter about the chapter, but I want you to go all the way to the far right, and it says chapter readiness. I do assign these, and I put them in your assessment grade. Chapter readiness quiz, chapter 1, the language of algebra. And take a look at these questions. They're very simple: addition and subtraction of decimals. Do you understand what a number line is? So this is at the very, very beginning. If you don't understand something, they give you hints. I'm not sure how great these hints are. This one says the number line starts at 10 and increases by 1. I don't know how much help that is, but McGraw-Hill does give you some hints. At the very bottom, you should click on the word check it. And Glencoe, which is McGraw-Hill, says, you haven't finished any of the questions. Do you want to submit? I'm going to say okay, because I'm just trying to show you this, and it'll give you your score. It says your score was 0% because I didn't answer anything, obviously. And now at the very bottom, it says that you can either try it again. Oh, by the way, it also tells you where to go if you're really struggling. I could try it again. If I click on try again, they're not exactly the same problems, but they're similar problems, and I'm still not going to answer it. Oh, maybe I should answer at least one of them for you. Okay, so let's answer one. Write the number that represents point A on the number line, and so it's 2. And now I'm going to check it. And now I'm going to get one right, I hope. I got 10%. And so you would get a score of 1 out of 10. in your assessment grade for this. But nobody gets 1 out of 10. You try again until you get it right. But what's really important is that at the very bottom to submit it, you put your name. So let's say I am Joe Cool, and then you put your student email address, whatever that is, and I'm just gonna go blah 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 blah, right? At studentlvusd.org or something. And then here's what's really important. I will not get this unless you make sure you type this perfectly without any mistakes. And you'll notice how it opens this up and says my email because I've already done it. So what will happen, just understand what will happen. If you type it in incorrectly the first time, every time you come down to this box, it'll put the incorrect email address. So make sure you're typing my email correctly. M stands for Michelle, that's my first name, SOBIERAJ@lvusd.org. Hit sent mail, and it says your results have been sent up here on the top left. Okay, so I have shown you that. So now I'm going to go back over here. Okay, so what did we do again? We went to menu, we went to resources, and we went to chapter overview. Okay, so now let's say we're now in, I'm going to bring you, we're going to skip a plan for problem solving at the beginning of the year, lesson 2, words and expressions. Okay, so again, it'll keep me in 48 options here. So let's take a look at what this says. So check. So check is now the self-check quiz to view the concept for each lesson. This year I'm going to try something new. I'm going to open this resource because I'm primarily an 8th grade teacher, and my 8th graders did not have laptops last year. You have laptops, 7th grader, and actually for the first ever time, so do my 8th graders. I'm going to have you do these self-check quizzes in class, and I'll give you probably about 5 to 10 minutes to see how long it takes us. Almost like a warm-up activity. And there are only 5 questions, and you'll take them and you'll check it. And then I'm going to say I still want to submit, I got a 0, and you're going to email this to me. And notice if I just put anything random in here, or don't even put this, that's my daughter, by the way, Brittany, and I hit send mail, it's still going to say your results are sent. So be careful, 7th graders. Make sure you fill those in. Okay, I'm going to click out of that. And here we are back here. And now I'm going to go back to, now see how it kept me in check? Go to all resources and you'll see the opening screen again for the entire lesson 2. eHelp. Let's click on that and let's remind ourselves what that is. eHelp is they pick some questions on the homework and they give you the worked out answers for number 21 and 31. They're not just the answers, they actually give you the worked out answers. Now, in my class, I generally give you something called e-solutions. Mrs. Soberi, where will we see that? I'll show you that in a moment. I upload it to this website and it'll give you the answers worked out for all the problems. Let's go to response to intervention. If you go to response to intervention, there are 2 of them and they're identical. One you can download and one just goes right online. So if I click the one on the right and I open it, it's going to give me a Word document. I'm going to close that off so that you can print it out. If I click the one on the left, watch what happens. You get the reteach and it explains numerical expressions, etc., etc. Will I give you these sometimes as homework? You know, sometimes, and sometimes we'll just use them in class as practice. And I'll take you to that when we're in class. Okay, let's go back to all resources. Response to intervention again means a reteach. I'm not going to go to tools, I'm going to go to tutor. Tutor. I do not know if you used these last year, but you should. When you're saying to me before school or after school during the math help times, I don't understand this at all. A lot of times, at least at the beginning of the year, I'll say, did you try the tutors? And most kids will go, no. And I'll be like, why didn't you try the tutors? So let's take a look at this. Mrs. Workman. Okay, so if I go all the way here, it says, a clothing store is having a sale on jeans. The jeans cost $29. Right? They evaluate the expression. Okay, and so Mrs. Workman will take you through this. So I'm going to hit escape. If you hit escape, you get out of your window there. Translate phrases, evaluate expressions. Let's take a look at this one really quickly. So this one, let's go full screen, is going to say find the value of the expression. Look, the nice thing about this, look what I'm doing at the bottom. I'm giving you the thought that you can drag this. You don't have to watch the whole thing if it's Mr. Adams is boring you. So parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. He's circling those. He's probably telling you left to right, left to right. And now he's saying, can you do this one on your own? And then he works it out. Okay, we're going to hit escape. They're wonderful. You need to start using these if you start struggling. You may not struggle at the beginning of the year, but use them at the beginning of the year just to get yourself comfortable. When you click on vocab, it just gives you a glossary. So we're going to go back to all resources. I don't generally use that much. Worksheets. Now you won't get any of the answers to these worksheets unless I give them to you. Again, notice skills, practice twice, homework practice twice, problem solving twice, enrichment twice. And so what's happening here again is they're giving you one of them as a worksheet that downloads a document. Those are the editable ones. If I just click worksheet, now there's only 4 of them and all of them will open online. So let's look at it. There it is. Okay? All right. So let's go back to all resources. We've gone over all of this. I'm going to go back up to here. And so you can see there's a lesson for each one. Okay, so now the last thing I want to do on here is I want to go all the way below all the lessons. Let's go, 7th graders, all the way to chapter review. This was a big problem last year. If you go all the way to chapter review, they give you a chapter test and a standardized test practice that I also give you every single chapter. I give you a couple of days to do them online. It's very similar to the lesson checks. Let's click on the word check. And you'll see one of them says chapter test. If you hover, it'll tell you what it is. Allows students to assess their knowledge. And then standardized test practice. Online standardized test practice allows students to review skills and concepts, becoming more familiar with your standardized testing from the end of the year. Here's what's really important. There's one of these for each chapter, and you are supposed to do them when I assign them. They do go in their assessment grade, and again, you're going to get a number from 1 to 10 points in your assessment grade. If I click on the chapter test right now, it's not just 5 questions. They are still multiple choice. This one happens to be 16 questions. I've seen them all the way up to 20 questions. And this is on just the chapter. Now, if I click out of this, and I click on the standardized test practice, it says standardized test practice chapter 1. And again, it's multiple choice, but it goes all the way to 20. Now, I'm going to click out of this, and I'm going to go to chapter, let's just, for the heck of it, go to chapter 8. Oh yeah, we're fast forwarding through. Okay, when I go all the way down to chapter review right now, and I click on the word check, the chapter test hasn't changed. It's still going to say chapter 8, but now please watch what happens when I click on and open the standardized test practice. Notice what it says. If you're looking at my cursor, I'm highlighting it. It says chapters 1 through 8. It's not saying chapter lesson 1, comma 8. You're not in chapter 1. This is a cumulative chapters 1, 2, 3, all the way to 8. It's amazing. And again, I will give you these every single chapter. And that was a confusion last year. They kept saying, where do I find 1-8? And I'm like, it's not 1-8. It's chapter 8, cumulative chapters 1 through 8. Okay, so now let's go to homework. Now, here's your homework screen, and again, some of you have already seen this. Pretty much the only thing I will put online, because everything is on my website, Teacher Web, is I will put the e-solutions here. So if I've uploaded, which I haven't yet, the e-solutions, they would be here. A lot of times they're in due later because I put them in as like for a couple of weeks because it's the e-solutions for the entire chapter. Okay, so I am done with that. What else is on here? There's really, all these you can click on yourself. If I go back to home, it just gives me the home screen, and then there's bigger icons here. And that is about it with eSolutions. I'm also going to put you on Google Classroom and probably put a link on Google Classroom for this, but you should just bookmark it directly. Okay, so welcome to the new school year, and that completes the quick review of your McGraw-Hill Student Portal.